So as we just talked about, a lot of work taking place on board the International Space Station for these crew members, and a lot of work takes place on the ground before they ever get the chance to launch. A lot of training, a lot of it taking place here at the Johnson Space Center and around the world. Today here in Mission Control, I'm joined by one of our veteran astronauts who's going through training for the third time now, getting ready for her third mission to launch next year, Peggy Whitson. So Peggy, first off, thanks so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And so again, like I said, this is your third time around, and you're trying to do something a little bit different this time. You're looking at trying to put some of the other folks who get you guys ready into the spotlight. Tell me a little bit about what this is called and what it is you're trying to do.
Well, I really believe that a lot of the people that provide the support for us getting ready for a mission, including everything from engineers, not just trainers, but engineers, and then we've got people supporting us on orbit, full-time operations. And being an astronaut and being trained in all these various systems and areas, it gives you a real flavor for the number of people involved, but also the diversity of their backgrounds, the diversity of their interests, and all the different types of things that are required to contribute to making a spaceflight a success. And so we want to highlight and emphasize those people. And it takes a huge number of people to make spaceflight a success. And I like to term it the NASA Village.
Okay.
And so we are working to try and highlight the stories of those people. You know, everyone has their own story of, what challenges they had to overcome, what was the most exciting thing about their jobs. And I just think that by highlighting all those people and all those backgrounds, we can highlight all the different fields of science, technology, and engineering and mathematics that are involved, and even arts are involved as well. And so it's just a very interesting story, I think, to hear what's all the people that are involved in the process.
Okay. Any pushback from some of those people? Maybe they want to stay behind the scenes?
Well, it's all voluntary, but
okay.
But I am trying to encourage different people to tell their stories, because I think everybody has an interesting story. And what we hope is that by telling these stories, we will inspire young people to realize that there are different types of jobs involved in being in spaceflight and exploration, and maybe your desire isn't necessarily something that would be an astronaut, but there are lots of different ways to contribute and still be involved in exploration. And I'd also like to show some of the cool factor involved in all of those jobs.
So, like a lot of our astronauts, you're going to be using social media a lot for your mission, including one new platform that we haven't really used yet. What are the accounts that you're going to be sharing your experience in the NASA Village with the world on?
So under Astro Peggy on Twitter, Facebook, which we've done in the past, but also Tumblr is the new version of social media that we're trying to work into. Hopefully it'll interface with a younger age group. The point is to try and inspire the next generation of explorers and to give them the ideas of all the different types of things that are involved and what options you might have for jobs if you have an interest in any particular field.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Tumblr is something we haven't really ever used, so you're going to be kind of pioneering that, like you've pioneered a lot of things in spaceflight, so that's really exciting. And just, to kind of bring it all back, you've touched on it, you want this NASA Village thing to kind of inspire those people. Is that kind of the overarching, that's what you're really going for with this whole campaign?
Absolutely. We're hoping that young people will think that, hey, there's lots of cool jobs that I could do at NASA or do as a part of exploration and contribute to exploration, and to see how exciting it is, and hope that they want to pursue the educations required to get those jobs. But I think it's really neat in some of the stories. For instance, one lady who was working on sealing the heat seals of the inner bladder of the spacesuit together.
Okay.
And she was doing that heat sealing process. Obviously, the inner bladder is very important. That's what protects us from the vacuum.
Absolutely.
It has to be airtight and all that. And I asked her what her degree was in, and she said fashion design.
Oh.
So there's just an amazing diversity of backgrounds and people involved.
Well, there you go. I mean, all walks of life getting involved in the space program. Anybody watching and following along with the NASA Village, hopefully growing the village, I
I
assume,
hope
is
so. I hope
one of
so.
the goals of this. Okay, very cool stuff. Well, again, NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson, you can follow her over the next year as she trains, and be sure to follow her when she's back up in space on her third mission to the International Space Station. Going to be a commander again, so that'll be really exciting. So again, Peggy, thanks so much for joining me today. We really appreciate it. We're definitely going to be following along.
Okay, great. And I hope lots of folks will be interested and follow it as well, and to contribute their stories.
Yeah. All right.
Great.